Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Shanaka and I am here today to share RaceStats, a racing statistics software that I am developing, inspired by the desire to have a software where I can record championships, drivers, teams and other data from races that I partake in various video games, running my own career modes that I will be also showing off on YouTube. There's plenty of YouTubers that create career videos like James Early or Jaden Harrison or Aurora, who have inspired me to create my own. But one of the things that I always found lacking was software or a place where you could keep records of all the races and the results, and also the driver records, and go back and look through that like we do in real life. So I took it upon myself to develop this software that allows you to do just that. So the desire today is to go through this software and show you all how it works, how it's set up, and get feedback, get ideas, and to improve before it is released sometime later this year. So when you start the software, this is where you begin on the dashboard, which gives you an idea of how many championships and drivers, teams, circuits, etc. that you have in your databases. So the first thing that you want to do before anything else is to create your nationalities. The nationalities define drivers and teams, so they are the most important thing at the beginning that you want to do. So you add a nationality here, so you'll write the country name. As an example, we'll put Italy, and the code for Italy, ITA, and of course the two-digit code for the country, and then you can browse your computer to get the flag that you want. Now we want Italy, so we're going to get it from here, and you just use these two-digit codes for the country. If you don't know them, go to your image and check it before you put it in. Once you do that, you add the flag, and then you create the country, and it will automatically show here. So you want to add the nationalities of all drivers and teams before you start adding them to the drivers and team sections into the database, so that way you have them all ready. So we'll do a few here right now of ones that we're going to be using. Austria, AUT, I think Austria, let me just check here, AT, so AT is the AT. Okay, so I'm running the 1988 season skin pack in Automobilista 2 as my first season in my career mode, and so I will be creating a few nationalities that cover that year. So we'll just I believe it's BR, but we'll just check that in a second here. Yes, it is BR. For some of the drivers that I will make, I'm just adding their nationalities right now. So we've got that. Then we have Japan, JPN, and then we'll go to JK Japan. So it is important to make these. I know this is going to be a little bit boring watching this. You can skip ahead if you like, or you can keep watching, but this is important to do at the start. And we might make more as we get our teams and drivers in. I'm just trying to think if there was anybody else. Italy, Japan. Yes, we also need Great Britain or England, but I always like calling it Great Britain. GB, if I'm not. So now GB, there we go. Open Britain. So we've made a few nationalities right now. We'll move over to doing the other things right now. So from there, once you make the nationalities, you can go wherever you like in the drivers, teams, circuits, and manufacturers to make those. So we'll go to drivers and we'll add a driver just to show you how this works. So let's say our first driver is going to be Alessandro Nannini. So Alessandro Nannini. Oh, Alessandro. I've already done these before, so that's why they're showing up here, because it remembers. And we will have 0 for Alessandro Nannini. And in seasons, this is the basically the age of the driver, how many seasons experience they've had at the start of their career in this app, right? So I always set this to 0. That's because I want my drivers to start with no prior, stats or season experience. They're starting in their series that I'm creating from scratch, as if it's their very first race, etc. So yeah, it's an active driver, and what this means is if you turn it off, it's a retired driver. It won't be an active driver, etc. So you leave that on, you create the driver, and they will show up here. One of the cool things when you have the driver here, if you click on it, it will on its profile page, it will have various stats, performance, which isn't at the moment running because there's been no events, comparisons, teammates, seasons, career stats, teams they've been in, and championships, which I'll show you more as we populate the area. So this video is going to be a little bit long, but bear with me as I sort this out. So then we do Gerhard Berger. He's Austrian, and of course 0. And these driver ties that you're seeing, they're actually my personal ones. They're owned by me. I've had someone make them for me, an artist, and they'll be basically used in my career videos. So Ivan Perry is Italian. I believe it was Italian, was it? Yes, it was Italian then. Shankar Lionheart, which is my driver. And we have to add them all in order to Pierluigi Martini, Italian. We have to add them all in order to do all the rest of the stuff, so bear with me while I do this. So we got Julian Bailey from Great Britain. We have Jonathan Palmer. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Palmer. Great Britain. Michele Arboreto. Oops. Arboreto, Italian. Next one is Mauricio Gugelman. From Brazil. And we have Nigel Mansell, which I think I may have picked the wrong one. 1 second. Did I pick the wrong one? Why do I have it's that one, yeah. Nigel Mansell. We'll have Nelson PK. Nelson PK from Brazil. Alan Frost. See, so I forgot to add France. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to nationalities. We're going to add France, FRA, FR, and we'll just go to our flags again. We'll go to FR, FR, and now we've added that. So we can go back to drivers, and we can add good old Alain Prost. France. Got. Now the reason why some of them are showing with white background, some of them with black background, is because of the way the PNG is. Normally, it depends up to you what you want to have. You can set your avatars with a background or with no background. It's up to you. I'm just doing this for showcase purposes, so don't pay attention to the backgrounds. That's really on you and the images that you use. So after Alan Price, we got wait a second. Did I pick the right one? It's this one. So is it that one? PNG, JPEG. Yeah, I should have picked the JPEG one. That's why. So Ricardo, Patrice, Danny, then we got Satoru Nakajima. Nakajima from Japan. In Brazil. And the last one for this preview is, what do I do here? Oh no, that's right. Okay. No, I have forgotten one more. So there's one more nationality I have to do, which is Belgium. Belgium. Why do I keep doing that? Belgium, BEL. I don't know what the Belgian code is. I'll check that when we go here. BE. Okay. So BE. Okay. There we go. Alright, so theory, Bookson from Belgium. Alright, so now all our drivers are done, at least the ones that we want to put in for this video. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do teams. So we're going to do very quick, we're going to do, let's see what the first team is that we've got. Team logo, so we'll do Ferrari. So Ferrari, front name is Ferrari. Manufacturer is also so we have to see here how we have to add manufacturers. So we go to manufacturers first, so we'll go to here, we'll add all the manufacturers first, and because we don't have it set there, we'll go Ferrari, nationality Italy, okay, then we've got Judd, and that is Britain. Then we've got Ford is I forgot to no. Oh, it just had a little bit of an issue there. Don't know what happened there. Nationalities. Let's go to nationality. Go to US, United States, USA, US. Because I forgot to do that. US. And manufacturers. And go Ford. What am I doing? There you go. Ford, United States. Then we'll do Honda, Japan. Oh. Alright, so we've got these ones done. So if we're going to add a team now, we'll add Ferrari. Short name is Ferrari. That's the manufacturer. Team name. You can pick primary, secondary colors, but it doesn't really matter right now for that. I haven't really refined that entirely, so it's just temporary. Then you add your team logo. There we go. So there's Ferrari. We'll add Benetton. Ford. Benetton was forget. I'll just bring for now. I forget right now, but you can change it later. You can always go to this little edit button, and you can edit anything you've put. So that doesn't really matter right now. March. God. You can set, like, for example, I might do this, which I should have done for the other one as well. Marks is blue, and Benetton, for example, that year was more, what is it, green. Benetton's colors were always more green. Copy. Okay, and that's the colors that they'll show up as. Then we've got McLaren, and Honda, Great Britain, they are that. Now Ferrari, just need to do is always red, and always red. Okay, now keep adding these. Minardi. Now you can add more, I might add sponsor names too at some point, like sponsors. Right now I'm not entirely done with that, so yeah, so black and black. Okay, which doesn't go well on a black surface, but it doesn't really matter. Or you can make it a little bit lighter. So for example, I could go more, let's say like that is an example, and then just go. So there you go, you get a little bit of a black thing there. So then we've got Tyrrell, Ford. I think maybe Ford. Can't remember right now. One more had Judd. Tyrrell will be white, and then we've got the last one, which is Williams. Williams was Judd, yes. So Williams, Judd. That's going to be Great Britain, and Williams is also will have a little bit of a lighter white, simply because you don't want them to be the same as Tyrrell. It's just a little bit of a tinge of grey. That works perfect. Look at that, hashtag there we go. So that's all the teams done right now, and if you click on them, of course they also have their statistics and other comparison data here. So after that's done, teams, manufacturers are done, of course you're going to want, and you've got drivers, you're going to want circuits. Let's just add a couple circuits here. So the first thing we're going to do is circuits. It's good to have your images squared. Now this one's not going to appear correctly, and you'll see why, but it's always great when you have the images more square, and the app will do its thing. So we got so circuit name is Jakarta Bagua, and then event name is Brazilian Grand Prix in Brazil. Country is Brazil. Then the length of the lap is the track is 5.031. At least for this one, you can get that data off the internet, and then you got 11 terms. Okay, you set that up, and then of course if you click on the track, there's going to be statistics for the tracks as well, which will be improved over time. We'll just add the 3 tracks anyway. Then you've got the Donington, it's the European Grand Prix in Britain. The length of that one is 4.02 kilometers, and it has 12 turns. We'll grab the image for that. Okay, and then the last circuit to add is the Imola, the San Marino Grand Prix, and Marino Grand Prix in Marino, Italy, 5.04 with how many turns it was right now. Let me just double check here. I don't remember. So 19 turns. So we'll do 19 turns. And as you can see here, it's not proportionally correct because it's not a squarer image, so it's always beneficial to have a more squarer image for everything that you do in this. Now, once you've got the circuits done, you're all done with nationalities, you're done with manufacturers, circuits, teams, drivers. The next thing you need to do is series before you start championships. If you've got no series, you can't have a championship. So we're going to add our series, right? The first one, and the most prestigious one for us, is the IFS 1, which is the International Formula Series 1, and it's an open wheel formula. Okay, and then we add the series. Then we can also add more. You can add whatever you like. Series 2, open wheel series. Okay, IFS 2, and then we do IFS 3. And you'll see why this is important later. IFS 3. And there we go. So if you want to make GT series or karting series or any type of series you want to make, you can make it here. So there we go. Then we go to championships, and we're going to create our first championship. Now, when you create your first championship, you get to pick from all the series that you've created in a drop down menu. So let's say we want to create the series Formula Series 1. What is it going to be called? So we're going to call it the International Formula Series 1. And then the season. Now this is where things, you have to decide how you want to run your seasons. Do you want to run them by year, or do you want to run them by season number? I run mine by season number. So season 1 of the International Formula Series 1 World Championship, I run it like that. So I will say season 1 of the International Formula Series 1 World Championship, right? It's an upcoming series, and what this does is until there's at least one session that is either automated or has entries put in, it will say upcoming. Once at least one session, practice session, qualifying, whatever it may be, has a recorded entries, then it will become active automatically. And once all rounds have completed, it will automatically become completed. Now you can select your point system. You can select either F1, IndyCar, NASCAR, or you can create your custom own point system. So for example, you can select custom, you can say, well, I want separating in commas, first place 50 points, then 45 points, then 30 points, you know, 25, 23, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. You know, and depending on how many positions you're going to have as an example. I'm just going to keep mine simple at this. You can set if you want to award an extra point for fastest lap, and if you want to award a point for pole position. Now, we're not going to do that. We'll keep that off for now. And here, before you click create, you can add the round. So you click add round, you select your first round. For me, it will be the Brazilian Grand Prix. Now, this is showing right. I'll fix that. You're gonna have to set a date, and then you set how many laps the race is going to be. I'll set it to 60 laps. I'll add another round. I'll add the European Grand Prix, which will be another 30 laps, and then we'll create. Right, I haven't done 3 rounds on purpose. So now that we've created a series, it shows up here, and if you click on it, you've got your series section here. And what you can do is you've got your season results, of course, your historical data, and your calendar. So if you've forgotten to set something up, you can say, okay, well, I forgot to set up a round. I'm going to set up Imola, the San Marino Grand Prix. It will be round number 2 because I want it to be number 2, but I made a mistake. Right? Laps, however many laps you want, and it's scheduled because you haven't run it yet. So you add it, and then you can do that, and you can edit this one to be round 3, and then it will change them. There you go. So that's how you can organize your rounds, right? And then before you do anything, you have to add your entries. So when you add your entries, you select the drivers that you want to add. Let's say we'll add Michele Alboreto, and you see the team drop down menu, and you got Ferrari, and then his teammate at Ferrari. And now that we have 2 drivers at Ferrari, what happens is when you click another driver, you're not going to see it's Ferrari anymore, because you have two drivers per team. Now, the way I've set it up is that it really caters to a 2-driver system, because it's F1 like. I do have to, more than likely, depending on feedback, update it if people want to be running more than 2 drivers in a team. So most likely I will have to change this, but then the problem you have with this is that the more teams you have in the database, the more it will bring up here in the drop down that you have to scroll through. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that yet. There are a few methods that I have in mind with the classifications in the back end. So for now, it just works like this. There's still work to be done, but you get the idea. So we have March, Mauricio Gugelmin, which is teammate in March, and then Toto Lionheart in Minardi with Pierluigi Martini. You have Nigel Mansell in Williams, Toru Nakajima in, well, we'll leave him out because we don't have Lotus done yet for a moment. So we've got Ayrton Senna in McLaren, Alain Prost in McLaren, Ricardo Patrese in Williams, Jonathan Palmer in Tyrrell, Alessandro Benetton, Julian Bailey in Tyrrell, and Thierry Britton in Benetton. Now, we add these 14 entries and they'll show up here. Over time, they'll just keep populating. And there you go. You got them. You can delete them from here, you can edit them, or you can look at the driver profile from here. So anyway, we'll go back. So we've got that done. Now, one thing I haven't done, Lotus, Honda, Click button. We don't have a logo just yet, so don't worry about the logo. Ratings will just show up with its own default logo. And we got championships. We'll add now, because let's say we haven't added these drivers. We'll add them to Lotus, and there you go. So they now pop up. And now that you have this, you can pretty much decide what you want to do. You can create news articles. So one of the things that I did was to make this happen is, like, let's say IFS1 Mogul IFS1 World Championship is go. Mogul empty. So we'll just publish this. There we go. And then what happens is if you click on this, then you can go to the main story and you can click back to go to news, and this will populate the more you make. So it allows you to kind of, as a content creator, if you want to have a news page and see the news articles and create news articles for like contracts and rumors and other things that go on in your world of racing, then this is a way to do it and share it with your community without having to go and make all the stuff yourself. So then we go to championships, Formula Series 1, and there's a couple of things you can do here now in calendar. So let's say we want to start the first weekend. We'll set up the weekend, and you can decide how you want to set it up. So you can have a sprint weekend, you can have a standard IndyCar weekend, you can have minimal weekend, qualifying just race, but we're going to have a standard weekend like the old days. Okay, so the date doesn't really matter. You can set this to anything you want. I may even remove this entirely, but it's up to you. I've left it there because some people might want to record, the dates of when they started doing all this stuff. So we'll create sessions. We wait a moment, and of course now you've got your sessions and a few little buttons I'll talk about here. You have automate weekend that will automate all the entire weekend. That we'll do in another one. You have reset of the weekend, which resets the whole weekend and all stats that were recorded. And then you can add a session if you want. So first of all, we'll look at the manual entry. So if you have free practice one and you play a game and you get the results and you want to add them manually, you'll click on that and you'll come here where you'll see however many. It doesn't matter if you use them all, whatever is unused won't show up. And then if you want to add more positions, if you're using more than 20 drivers, you can do so. And then basically you add from the drop down menu, let's say who's going to finish first. And in practice, if they completed a DNF, of course you can't have DNF drivers in above completed drivers. They always have to be below them, because in practice session it doesn't count. If they DNF, they're still, it's not a position for points or anything else. Then you can put in the time, let's say 1 minute, 19.100, right? And they did, let's say 10 laps. Right, and then you pick the next one, and you can decide who you want to pick. Let's just say we'll do Lotus, we'll do that, we'll do that. So we just okay. So there we go. It's very, very random, and we can just say, for example, we'll copy this and we'll just go. You'll of course put the data as per your results screen on your game, but I'm just doing this now just to give an idea, and it automatically shows the gap, right? Then you just do commenting. No, okay. Yeah, so there we go. So all these guys have done this, and let's say you do, 14, 12, 15, no, not 155. 14. There you go. Right, so that's all it. That's all done. And you just save results. And once you save this, the screen is meant to disappear. For some reason, it's stopped disappearing. Oh no, there we go. It just takes a bit of time. So there you go. And then what happens is it takes a couple moments, and then it will all show up here. Right, so there you go. 16 drivers, and all done. Now, what you can also do is, let's say you want to automate the weekend, the session. You'll click automate session. And then you can select between random, which is completely random results for unpredictable sessions based on recent form with some variation, or strict prediction based on championship standings. Of course, because the drivers don't have any statistics, they haven't raced, the intelligent and predictive won't be as perfect until later on when they have more stats. So let's just go to intelligence. We'll generate the results, and it shows the results here. If you're happy with them, you apply the results. If you're not, you can click regenerate, and it will regenerate the results. Let's say if I click it now, it has now done new results. So we'll apply these results. We wait a moment, and this schedule will turn to completed. Once that's happened, it means the results have now been recorded, and of course the drivers in the various like qualifying and race will get statistics. So we'll do this very quickly. Generate. So you can see that it's keeping them, because they have been in the previous sessions pretty high, it's keeping them high up there. So we'll just do that, and then we'll go to qualifying intelligence. So again, because it's showing where they finished in the previous races. But what I'll do is I'll go random, and now you'll see when I regenerate, well, you sort of still get the same ones, but you get Ayrton Senna a bit higher, you get Chantal Lionheart, Jonathan Palmer a bit higher than previous rounds. So it still keeps a lot of the dependent on stats, which I have to kind of program a little bit more better and optimize it, but it is working. Well, there you go, Alessandro Nannini. But we'll do that. We'll just apply the results for qualifying. So now Alessandro Nannini would have gone in the pole position here. So if I so if we go to Alessandro Nannini, you'll see that now he has some populated stuff. This will populate in a moment. It takes a little bit of time, and then it will show his results when the session has ended. So we'll go back here, and we'll do the race result. We'll go predictive, and there you go. So export them all like this. We'll play the results, and the first race weekend will be completed. And as you can see, it now shows completed. 1 of 3 rounds are completed up here, and of course the race result comes here. What you also see now is that the season results will have been recorded in the season results table for drivers and constructors, showing the results for driver number 1 and driver number 2. This is something that I have to refine over time. but I'll have to see how I can make this a little bit better, but it's working for now. Historical, it shows, you know, where they start with more races will move, and then of course your constructor settings. And you can add more teams to compare, you know, in them where they finished and how many points they got, etc. Okay, so now if we go to drivers and we go to, let's say, Nelson Piquet, you'll see now that Nelson Piquet has 1 win, 1 podium, and his stats have changed. So you can compare with other drivers. So let's say you want to compare him with Satoru Nakajima. You'll compare, you know, which driver of the two has, you know, the first column is the driver you've selected, which is the profile driver, and the second column is your head-to-head comparison drivers, and you can add more. You can add, for example, Thierry Boutsen, so now you've got even more comparison. Performance-wise, you can see in the colors who's doing what, and you can see the detailed stats as well. This is something that I'll have to fix for dark mode, which I didn't notice previously. Then you have your teammate head-to-head battles. Every season for every series will show up here separately in separate tables, and you'll see which driver is winning the head-to-head battle. Seasons, what this driver has done in every season they've partaken in from every series that they've raced in. Their career stats, of course there might be some more things that we can add here, I don't know yet. If you have ideas you can let me know. What teams they've raced with the team logo, of course, when that comes around, and then how many championships they've been in. Alright, so we were so you'll see here all the championships that they've been in and what they've achieved in every championship. I think a bit like Wikipedia, right? And then, you know, what they've done. Okay, so if you go to someone else, for example, like Michele Alboreto, you will see like his seasons, teams, there we go. You'll see the teams and the team logo of what they've done. So that's basically how this works. When you go to championships standings, you'll see that here with the team color codes. That's what they're for. The primary color is what shows up. The secondary color isn't much of a thing. And then yeah, so that's it. So now we'll just go to calendar and we'll simulate on this one the whole weekend. Right? So we'll automate the whole weekend. You click it once and then you wait until you'll see that each one will start becoming completed one by one until it finishes, because it populates all the sessions. And once it's done, we can see the results. It does take a little moment to populate everything, like just because it says completed. If you click on it, you may not show all of them. You might have to go back out and go back in. This is just because it's still processing. It's something that I'll have to optimize over time. But now that they're all completed, we're going to practice. You'll see that they're all done. Julian Bailey DNF'd, but his fastest time was a 1 minute 30, so he's still classified as 6th in practice session. In qualifying, you know, they're all there, and then in the race, here we go. So now in this one with the automated session, one thing that I still have to fix is that it's showing DNF drivers above ones that have finished. So this is a bug in the automate weekend and automate race. Something that I'll have fixed in the next day or so. It just takes a little bit of programming to get it all sorted, but this will be all fixed anyway. But as you can see, there's the info here. One thing that we can do is, let's say we're not happy with that, we can open this up and we can change this to completed, right? And we can change everybody else to, of course, completed. So we could say that they did 50 laps, like everybody else. Completed. Okay, and then what we can say is that, for example, Michelle Barreto and Gerhard Berger, they crashed into each other on lap 1, taking each other out, and then Ivan Capelli DNF'd by, let's say, hydraulics issue on lap 21, and Mauricio Gugelmin, he DNF'd by, let's say, an engine failure on lap 23. So we'll save these results and then we'll wait a moment. I think it will, maybe, no, we'll go off and we'll go here and it will populate. It will take a moment, so we'll just go out for a second and then it will take a moment and it will repopulate the results in just a moment. There we go. So now it's got it all correctly. And if we go to drivers, Satoru Nakajima, you'll see that now he also has a win, has 2 podiums. If you do the teammate comparison, they're now tied on podiums and wins. In the comparison with his partner, you know, he's a bit more close in the head-to-head. And then of course here, seasons, career stats, and so on. So that's how that works. And then you can see here the championship standings and race results now. You can see how that's changed. Now, I've just noticed here that the DNFs aren't showing. This was a bug I had yesterday that I fixed, but I see that it's doing it again, so I'll have to refix it. So don't worry about that. And now you can see in the historical data there is you know, more information from the 2 rounds, and of course you can add all the other drivers too if you want to see them. And yeah, so you can see where they've finished, and yeah. So far right now there's you know, there's still work to be done. The automate weekend still needs a bit of work, and there's a few other things that need a bit of work. I need to refix this because yeah, that's not showing the DNFs again for some reason. But yeah, the base of the so if you go standing, so you can see all previous championships that you've run, constructors, etc., for a historical thing. And of course when you go to records, you'll see this here too. Wait, isn't it updated? It's not, gotta love it. It's not refreshing here, but it will refresh over time. It's still probably passing data from one place to another, because there is quite a lot of places, and the code is still being optimized to make it work a bit faster. But yeah, all these statistics for teams, for drivers, nationalities will be running and showing information for everything. Someone, Jaden, in Jaden's server, I believe it was Jaden himself who mentioned about overall score, and I will add that, so rest assured that will be in here with time. But yeah, that's how it works, and that's basically what this race stats software is. It allows you to run your own sort of statistics system for your career modes for your championships, and also have data for the drivers that you have in your database and so on. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. There's still a lot of work to be done. This is, you know, as you can see, I've shown a lot. There's a lot of features and capabilities in the software already. I'm thinking a lot, you know, on features and what you can and cannot do. So yeah, it's something that still needs a bit of work. There's still optimizations to be done. There's still things that need to be corrected, as you've seen throughout the process of this video. But I hope that you've all enjoyed watching what I have to show, and I hope you will all enjoy it when I do release it. I will be contacting a few people for beta testing when I am ready, but that won't be for a little while yet. I still have a bit to do, but I am hoping to have it released sometime by the sometime this year. So I can't say when, because of course there's things that I have to optimize, there's bugs that I have to correct, and the last thing I want is for people to use this and then they get a certain way into it and then there's bugs or things crash or data is lost. I have made a settings section where you can export data, and it's good to do this. You can select what you want to export, for example, and it exports into a JSON file, and then if you wish to import again, it's a good way for keeping all your data safe after each round. So if something does happen in the app, you can just import everything. You can just reset the app and import everything and keep going. So I've thought ahead in some areas, having witnessed things in other people's career modes and what they've faced with losing data, and other things have been inspired as well by what I myself and what I've seen others face in their videos. So I do have to thank content creators like James Early, like Jaden Harrison, and like Alava, Bosch Racing, and many others or many of you who do these videos, who are inspiration to someone like me who wants to do them also. I just don't have enough time because of work, and also, you know, this dream and this desire I've always had to make a software like this. I wouldn't have started it without you all, and watching all your videos is a real pleasure. Being part of your communities is a real pleasure as well, so thank you all for what you do. Keep at it. Whether your channels are growing fast or slow, know that you still have an impact on many people who watch you. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, ask questions, and give ideas, feedback, what you think, and I'll happily respond to all of you over time, and try and build this app to be as great as possible, as flexible as possible, so that all of you can enjoy it in the way you desire. So again, thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next video when I share more updates and more information on the progression of this software. Thank you all. Have a good day. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye for now.